that determines the structure of power and privilege in society. He defines class primarily in economic terms and could treat it as being a part of the economic system of the society. Lenski uses the term in a very broad sense and emphasizes more on the political dimension. For Lenski, stratification is a multidimensional phenomena and therefore, this rejection is single dimensional definition of class. Human societies are stratified in various ways and each of these alternate modes of stratification provides a basis for different conception of class. Thus, classes are not merely aggregation of individuals who share common economic status in society or a common position in the structure of production. There could be different types, but he defines class as an aggregation of persons in society who stands in a similar position towards the synthesis. Lenski, with respect to some form of power, privilege or prestige, clarifies that if one has to explain the phenomena of social stratification or answer the question who gets what and why, power and class must be our chief concern. Prestige and privilege are largely determined by the distribution of power. By power, Lenski means all those individuals who have access to the institutional sources of power or who have the legitimate right or capability of using the force. Thus, in his definition of class, the most crucial element is that of power. However, the manner in which he defines power and class, a single individual can be member of more than one class. For example, in contemporary Indian society, an individual can be a member of the middle class with respect to the property holdings, a member of the working class by virtue of his job in a factory, and a member of subordinate class in terms of his being a Dalit by caste. Each of the major roles he occupies as well as his status in the property hierarchy influences his choice of obtaining the things he seeks in life, and thus each places him in a specific class. This tendency towards multidimensionality of class statuses, according to Lenski, becomes more pronounced as one moves from the technologically primitive societies to technologically advanced societies. He further argues that every unequal or stratified system has a potential of conflict. The members of every class share common interest with one another, and these shared interests constitute a potential basis of hostility toward other classes. The members of a given class have a vested interest in protecting and increasing the values of their common resources and in reducing the value of the resources of the opposite classes. However, he does not claim that classes always act together or that they are aware of their common interest, nor are they always hostile to the opposite classes. A given class structure spells out the possibility that which could be realized, but there is nothing inevitable about them. The final element in the theory of social stratification is the concept of class systems. A class system, according to Lenski, is defined as hierarchy of classes ranked in terms of some single criteria. However, there is no single class system. He argues that once we recognize the fact that power has diverse bases and that these are not always reducible to some single common denominator, we are forced to think in terms of series of class hierarchies and class systems. Now let us sum up. To sum up the lesson, Lenski's stratification theory is trying to unite the efforts of the functionalist and conflict theory to explain the existence and operating classes. Social functionalist and conflict rested on two traditions which are based on differences in assumptions about human nature and the nature of society. The theory of social stratification, where Lenski clarifies that this is an attempt at developing a synthesized theory of social stratification focusing on three important questions. That is, to focus is on the causes of stratification rather than its consequences. The focus is suggested in the title of his focus. His main focus is on power and privilege rather than prestige. And finally, he equates social stratification with the distributive process in human societies, the process by which the scarce goods and values are distributed. Thank you.